Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in Week 3. This one taken from the 7th. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3". Now a play fake here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
On play action, they'll throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
23 yards on the play. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. They're going to look to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 91 yards.
Having a nice season. Number 8 in the league in receiving yards. And not just making his team happy, but anyone who's picked him in fantasy football. His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate. Gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that would be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
He'll drop to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. You know, last week it was unbelievable how many times they were in the backfield. They had 7 sacks. Whatever they had for pregame meal last week, maybe they had it again.
I think they're going to continue to repeat it if they keep this up. But remember, we were at their facility, and we walked past the defensive meeting room, and what did it say over the door? Rush the passer. It's a philosophy. It's a statement. That's who they want to be, and they've been very successful with it.
An opening drive sack. Can this defense get the stop on the opening drive? Here's 3rd and goal.
Here we go. 3-19.
Back to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Yeah, this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
A field goal try forthcoming now for the Broncos. And his kick is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So they come into enemy territory. Nice drive to start the game, but they probably wanted 6. They only got 3.
I agree with you totally. That's the expectation. When you get the ball and you start moving it and you're rolling, you think you're going to end up in the end zone. But they should be happy with the 3. A good way to get things going here in this game.
This fielded at the 2. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Now James to throw on 2nd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call, and they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
Meanwhile, taking a look at what's going on in KC. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bad.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And now a fumble. The ball's out, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
New York set to take the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. 3-4 defense, usually here you'll see the linebackers come up and make those plays, but the nose tackle also vital.
That was so vital because what you just pointed out, normally he eats up blockers that allows the linebackers to get to the ball carrier. In this case, he did his job and then some, and there was no gain at all for the runner.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. James now on third down. Throw left side complete. It's Reynolds. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
He'll look to throw. And some room to roam now. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. Before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 3-3 our score. Back to MetLife Stadium in just a moment. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They'll face a third down conversion attempt here, 3rd and 3. They'll drop the throw, and he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And some room to work. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be a second down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, a free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on third down. They'll set up a throw. And complete on the right side to Bennett. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
A short gain that doesn't get him the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. Meanwhile, down in Philly. And the Eagles out in front early. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
Now they try the right side here. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain.
They go play action here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
And he'll give it here to his running back. He finds some open field here. And he's brought down. 11 more on that one and another first down.
I've yet to meet a wide receiver who likes to block more than catching the football, but the best ones understand that that's how they'll actually get more passes thrown to them if they help in the run game. And anytime you get a run of that yardage, That means the wide receivers did help. They get down to what a lot of people call the second level, the linebackers, or the third level where the defensive backs are, and they get out in front and put their bodies out there and create more space for their runners to gain the yardage.
Green 39! Green!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Here's James looking to throw on second down. And that'll be incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
James to throw on third down. Going right side here, and that's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Let's go! Green!
Looking to throw. James. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
The offense on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here.
To throw is James. From the gun, he'll throw. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Extra point attempt to come here. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
looking to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Broncos on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The second quarter score from KC.
And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout.
Here we go now.
Now a handoff looking right. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
Now James off the play fake. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. But tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Larry Ridley is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. And the Giants send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. This will be fielded at the 17. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10. On the NFL scoreboard, second quarter up in Minneapolis. It's the Lions that have grabbed the early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He gets it left side to Johnson. Past the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
He'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out come the Giants. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked something else. And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
That throw good for 4. It's second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
James now to throw on second down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back, right near the 39.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
The second quarter score from Cincinnati. And the Bengals out to the early advantage. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Here's James throwing on first down. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. James on first and 10. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Second down now after the pass completion. Operating from the gun, James got his man complete over the middle. That's Yoder. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
To throw is James on first down, and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away, and it's second down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, the second quarter score from Carolina, and it's an early lead there for the Saints. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Now James to throw again, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
And this one is right through. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the second quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the first half?
So we've reached halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the Giants out in front. As we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. The Giants are up right now and are looking to keep up the pressure moving forward. The Broncos won't panic either. They know they just need to take it one play at a time. All right, let's get it going. Here's the first half highlights. First and 10. Johnson's found on the quick pass, and this long run goes for a touchdown. The score now tied at 10. Now first and 10. James is going to complete the pass, and he ends up at the 44-yard line before he stopped. They would go on to kick a field goal and put 3 points on the board. That'll do it for us here at EA Sports Studios. Let's get back out to Brandon and Charles for the call of the second half. Brandon.
This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, spinning away. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
That one goes for 24 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. James now throwing on first down. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Here's James. Off play action. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. James operating from the gun. He's got it with the 15. That goes as a gain of 37 on 3rd down. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And it's caught, and he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A fresh set of downs, and they're at the 1. 1st and goal. They come up in an offset eye. And a give this time to the tailback. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive, but they'll be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game.
And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They come out here in the eye. On 3rd down. That's Reynolds. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Checking things elsewhere. 3rd quarter now from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up, this should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And some space here. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. And some room to maneuver. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Now they try the right side here. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now back to throw. And an alley to run. And a loose football. But it looked like, fortunately, the Broncos able to recover.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Call it a gain of 3. And that'll bring up 4th down. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon. So apparently, neither guy is immune.
There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
Back to throw. James. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Partner, that defensive win reminds me of something a coach of mine used to say all the time. If you really want it, you'll find a way to go get it. And the defense did exactly that.
To throw is James. Looking to throw on 2nd down. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Checking things elsewhere. 3rd quarter now from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Looking to throw. James. Oh, he's got a man wide open. Complete. They give him 12 yards and a 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Now James on 1st and 10. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way.
Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. So now it's 1st and goal. Back to throw. James. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time? Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And with that sack, partner, he just became the all-time NFL sack king.
So now the Mount Rushmore of sack artists has been added to. This man now goes to the head of the class. Carve out a new spot for him.
To throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And oh, a big collision there. He's hit and knocked backward at the 23. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The New York set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because this is caught at the 20. It's a big-time play there for the G-men. 54 yards. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete.
I think that's a big-time play there, because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
Second down following the incompletion. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
But it was stopped on that play. But he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And his kick is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give them some breathing room and lets them build up a little cushion.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And he's got his man on the out route. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away.
Denver has the first down. The play going for 15 yards.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Checking the NFL scoreboard there in the fourth now in Minneapolis. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A win would be their second on the young season. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Here we go now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but for this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Open space inside the 10. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now, I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. now. From the gun, he'll throw. His pass caught at the 4. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. From the 3 now, it's 2nd and goal. And he takes it into the end zone for a giant TD. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. And nothing special there. They showed they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight ahead power, and they got it done.
Let's go! Green 39!
They're going to try and run. And he will get into the end zone again. And he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
After that incompletion, I almost get the sense that he's going to look up at the booth and kind of look at us and say, hey, you guys got any suggestions? It's been that kind of game, hasn't it? They've had him on the run throughout.
Yeah, and I get that you're trying to make a play here, losing 4th quarter, but to throw when you're not set with pressure coming could have been an interception. Very
much so, and it's been that kind of game.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 39. It's a big play there on 3rd down. And even 40 yards. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right. They have had no room to breathe. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. A field goal try forthcoming now for the Broncos. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. Checking the NFL scoreboard, they're in the 4th now in Minneapolis. And it was the Lions who emerged victorious in that one. A win would be their 2nd on the young season. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to feel a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right? And sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, first down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
Let's go! Green, 39! Green!
Now a handoff here to his running back. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Giants, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town. Meanwhile, for Denver, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Giants are winners as we say so long from MetLife Stadium.